Hello and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we are taking a look at Coca-Cola and Pepsi to see whether we are buying or waiting for price to fall. Both of these companies make beverages. If we compare their brand portfolios, Coca-Cola have 200 brands under their portfolio such as AD's, Bart's, Coca-Cola, Dasani, Diet Coke, Fanta, Minute Maid, Jack Daniel, Powerade, Sprite, Schweppes, and list goes on. Whereas Pepsi on Brisk, Bubbly, Mountain Dew, Starbucks, Cheetos, Doritos, Lay's, Pepsi, Tropicana, Lipton, Dole, Ruffles, and list goes on. Both of these companies own strong brand names, and these brand names are not going under anytime soon. Both of these companies are trading in US dollars. On the screen, left side is Coca-Cola and right side is Pepsi. The market cap of Coca-Cola is almost $250 billion, whereas market cap of Pepsi is $232 billion. Not a big difference between both. The trailing 12-month PE of Coca-Cola is 26, whereas for Pepsi it is 25. The trailing 12-month price to free cash flow is 24 for Coca-Cola, whereas for Pepsi it is 36. Coca-Cola is paying $1.76 in dividends and yielding at 3%, whereas Pepsi is paying $4.60 in dividend and yielding at 2.73%. The payout ratio is close to 78% for Coca-Cola and 64% for Pepsi. These are the key statistics for both of these companies. Now let's see the financial statements. Personally, I like to see at least 10 years of financial data. Let's start with income statement. On top of your screen is Coca-Cola and bottom side is Pepsi. Under income statement, we can see that the revenue for Coca-Cola is $38 billion. It is quite volatile and basically flat and not growing by much over the past few years, whereas revenue for Pepsi is $79 billion. And it is growing as compared to past few years. The net income is $9.7 billion for Coca-Cola and $7.6 billion for Pepsi. The net income is also flat with some ups and downs for both of these companies. The number of shares outstanding for Coca-Cola is almost same, whereas for Pepsi it is decreasing as compared to past 10 years. Now let's move on to balance sheet. Here we can see the total assets and total liabilities is almost same for both of the companies. Both companies has more assets than liabilities, which is a good thing to see. Let's move on to cash flow statements. On the screen, we can see cash from operating activity is increasing for both of the companies. Dividends paid by these companies are also increasing and free cash flow is also increasing. Here you can see free cash flow for Pepsi is less as compared to Coca-Cola because Pepsi is investing heavily back into themselves as compared to Coke. Let's move on to Freeform tool to see how both companies has performed over the past few years. In Freeform tool, I like to see at least 7 years of financial data. Here on my screen, you guys can see revenue for Coke is negative, whereas for Pepsi it is growing at compounded annual growth rate of 3% over the past 7 years. If we compare last 20 years, revenue for Coke has grown by almost 4%, whereas for Pepsi it has grown by almost 6%. The income has grown over the past 7 years at 4.49% compounded annually for Coke and 5.11% for Pepsi. The number of shares outstanding is almost same for Coke and decreased by 0.97% for Pepsi. The average free cash flow of last 7 years is close to $7.7 billion for Coke and $6.7 billion for Pepsi. The average PE of Coke is 38 and for Pepsi it is 25. The average price to free cash flow value is close to 27 for Coke and 26 for Pepsi. Last but not the least, dividend growth over the past 7 years is 4.73% compounded annually for Coke and 7.86% for Pepsi. By looking at financial statement, we can conclude that both Coke and Pepsi are almost same with slight ups and downs. Both companies are well known for their brand names, and personally I don't think both of these companies are going under anytime soon. The current PE is close to 25 for both of the companies, which I think is high because both of the companies are not growing by much, especially Coke. I like to see this number below 18 at least. I don't have any position in Pepsi right now, but I am happy to hold my shares of Coca-Cola. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for future content, and let me know your views on both of these companies down in the comment section. See you in the next video.